Welcome back. In the previous video, we shortlisted the most relevant candidates for our job description. The next step in the hiring process is to configure an AI-powered interview for those shortlisted candidates. So this is the interview setup screen which is available under Interview Management. This page displays all interviews that have already been created. From here, recruiters can search interviews, filter them by job description, interview status, experience band, and interview start or end date, and monitor the overall interview process. To configure a new interview, click New Interview. This page is used to configure a complete interview workflow. Start by entering an interview name. So here I am giving Node.js mid-level interview. Next, select the job description. As only one job description is available right now, so you can see that Node.js mid-level developer that we created in our last video. So you can select that. Once a job description is selected, the corresponding shortlisting candidate list available for selection. So here you can see as we created only one shortlist against this job description, so that is available. If there were multiple shortlisting against this job description, then those lists will also be available under this section. So let me select Node.js mid-level shortlist 1. So after selecting the appropriate shortlist, we can see that the experience band is automatically populated on the selected job description, ensuring consistency throughout the hiring process. The interview type is also predefined based on your organization's configuration. Next, configure the interview schedule. Click Add Interview Date to define the dates during which candidates can attend the interview. You can configure one or multiple interview dates depending on your hiring requirements. So let's add 3rd and let's add 6th. Okay. Next, configure the interview schedule by adding one or more interview dates, which we already did. Then define a single availability window by selecting the start time and end time. This availability is applied to all the selected interview dates. So for here it is for both the dates, that is 3 and 6. So for an example, if the window is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So let us first select that 11 a.m. And let me select maybe a bit more 6 p.m. Okay. So, and if the slot duration, which you can see here, if it is 30 minutes for an example, HireSense will automatically create bookable slots such as 11 to 11:30, 11:30 to 12, 12 to 12:30, and so on for each selected interview dates. Candidates can then choose any available slot from this generated time slots while scheduling their interview. Now configure the interview timing, which we did. Now let's configure the slot and timing settings. Set the slot duration, which defines the length of each interview slot. So let's keep that 30. Next, specify the total duration time, which defines how long the interview session will remain active once the candidate joins. This settings also controls when candidates are allowed to access the interview. So for an example, if the slot duration is 30 minutes and the total duration is 45 minutes. So candidate can enter the interview 15 minutes before their scheduled slot. Before that, access window opens but the interview panels remain unavailable, preventing candidates from joining too early. This ensures every candidate enters the interview within the intended time window while maintaining a consistent interview schedule. So let me fill this 45. So next we have the number of questions that should be asked during the interview. If required, enable this custom question count to override the default and specify a different number of questions for this interview. Else HireSense uses the organization predefined question count. So if I disable this, we will use the default count, and if it is enabled, the input box is enabled and we can give our required number of questions. And last, let's configure the interview link expiry to control how long interview invitations remain valid. So it's maybe 15 minutes before interview. Finally, you will notice the time zone field. This value is automatically inherited from your organization's configuration and is therefore read-only during interview creation. By centrally managing the time zone at the organizational level, HireSense ensured that interview schedules, candidate booking slots, and notification remain consistent across the entire recruitment process. Once the interview configuration is complete, recruiters have two options. So first, let's click on Submit. Here you can see you have two options. The first option is to save the interview as a draft. Draft interviews are not visible to candidates and can be edited later if additional changes are required. This is useful when the interview configuration is still being reviewed or is not yet ready to be published. Alternately, recruiters can activate the interview immediately. Once activated, HireSense begins the interview preparation process in the background. AI automatically generates the interview question using the selected job description, required skills, experience level, and organizational knowledge base and topic mappings, which I think you remember we did in the organizational setup and knowledge base section. At the same time, interview invitations containing the scheduling link are sent to all assigned candidates. For this demonstration, we will activate the interview directly. So, click Active Interview. The interview has now been created and appears in the interview configuration list. From here, recruiters can search existing interviews from here or monitor their current status, that is this, edit draft interviews, but as this is a complete one, you can't edit it, or review active interview configuration whenever required. So if you go here, so you can review it. So next, let's move to question bank review. Once the interview is activated and question generation is complete, recruiters can review the generated question pool from the question preview section. HireSense generate a large pool of interview questions using the selected job description, required skills, experience level, organizational knowledge base, and topic mapping. Recruiters have complete control over this question pool. They can review every question, edit existing questions, remove questions that are not suitable, or add their own custom question whenever required. During interview configuration, we specified the number of questions that each candidate should receive. Rather than presenting the entire question pool, HireSense intelligently select that configured number of questions from the available pool for each interview. This means interview candidates may receive different combinations of questions while still being evaluated against the same job description and required competencies. This approach helps create more secure, dynamic, and unbiased interview experiences while giving recruiters full control over the question set. So here you can see the status is now active. So again, let me go to the question preview section. Here now, as the process is completed, so we can see the question is generated, which was done in the background. So here you can see multiple questions are generated. From here you can edit the questions, delete it, or if required you can even add question and save it. So next let's move to the interview setup again. Here you can go to the settings. So we are in the manage interview configuration section. So this interview is already configured. So let's next move to the candidate status. The candidate status tab provides a real-time overview of every candidate assigned to this interview. Since interview invitations were automatically sent when the interview was activated, recruiters can use this page to monitor each candidate progress throughout the interview cycle. The summary at the top displays the key interview statistics, including the total number of assigned candidates, interviews that has been completed, candidates who have not yet scheduled their interview, and candidates who did not attend their scheduled interview. Recruiters can also filter based on their current interview status from the interview status section, making it easy to identify candidates who require follow-up. If required, recruiters can resend the interview invitation to a candidate directly from this page or mark candidates as inactive, preventing them from participating in the interview process. The centralized dashboard helps recruiter efficiently monitor interview progress and manage candidate participation throughout the hiring cycle. We have now completed everything required from the recruiter side. The interview has been activated, AI generated questions are ready, and candidates have received their interview invitations. In the next video, we will switch to the candidate's perspective and see exactly what happens after they receive that invitation. Thank you.